Hi, this is Steve. Just a few rambling thoughts, as if it's any different than it usually is, about what's going on in comics. DC has announced a second wave, which is basically the first admission that the first 52 books that we threw at you didn't really succeed as we thought they would, and we're going to try, you know, to throw some other stuff at the wall and see if that sticks. Um, then we have things like the culling, Night of the Owls, uh, etc., which are like little mini events within certain related titles. Uh, and you know what? Again, it's been less than a year. Why don't you know, let the writers and artists work in these titles, uh, you know, work at creating a base, work at their own storylines without trying to force them into these events. But again, it's typical. It's, you know what, well, somebody's reading Batman. They're really into Night of the Owls. Uh, let's force them to pick up another 7 titles that they're not reading to get the entire story. Well, you know what? We've seen this before. Um, I don't even think these things should be called events anymore if they are, because they're really not. An event is something special, and for the most part, these things aren't special. They're just a demonstration that it's not the writers that are in charge of the books. It's DC um, editorial and marketing, which is in charge of it. And I'm just not buying it, literally and figuratively. Um, I've been enjoying Scott Snyder's work on the Batman, but I'm reading Batman. I'm not going to pick up the other titles just because uh, it's going to tie into Night of the Owls. Um, I'm reading, was it Legion Lost, but I'm not going to pick up these other books involved in the culling because I have no interest in like Teen Titans and these other things. I don't care. So I'm just not going to buy into it. Maybe at some other point, I might if it's interesting, but I don't see it as being interesting. Um, just an excuse to throw these characters together and hope that if you stop buying a book for 2 or 3 issues over the crossover, you'll keep buying it. And I think in my case, it's just it's pissing me off, and I actually hope that it pisses other people off and they stop buying the books. And again, I know that I say that and people are gonna say, "Oh, geez, you're saying that artists and writers should be put out of business." No, I'm saying DC editorial just sort of maybe step back and let these creators that they've hired do what they do, um, and just stand back, which is what back in the day, uh, you know, uh, the editors, would at least for the most part would trust that the writers and artists would come up with something. Um, anyways, I said you suppose you could make the case that like some of the stronger editors really were involved, but I don't know. Anyway, that being said, big thing this past weekend has been also at DC is that one of the characters is going to become gay. Well, you know what? I really can't get uh, too worked up about it uh, because you know what? We've seen it before, and we know what's going to happen. Is there's going to be a big to do about it initially, and the mainstream media is going to get into it. Letterman was doing a joke last night about it, and of course he went for the you know the thing like the new character is going to be called Mr. Fabulous. Well, that's an old joke that Johnny Carson could have done. I would have expected more from Letterman. I was a little disappointed by that, but what are you going to do? And of course, I'm sure that, and there's going to be a wedding in the Marvel comics, between North Star and another character. Since I don't read any Marvel books, I'm not really familiar with it. But good for him. I mean, you feel bad for North Star because North Star was years ago introduced, and it was hinted at that he was homosexual. And then I believe it was Jim Shooter who came out and said that no, there are no gays in the Marvel universe. And if I'm wrong on that, I apologize, but that's my recollection of the situation. And then I think they had a writer come in and that no, it was actually a fairy, Fairie. Oh, whoa, that's clever. Anyway, that's water on the bridge. But I think as a society, I would like to think we moved on, but apparently we haven't. And so we'll see how it goes. I mean, let's face it, Archie did it first, as was pointed out to me by the writer Nat Gertler. I think it was Wildstorm did it years ago with Apollo and the Midnighter, which were Wildstorm's Superman, Batman type characters, and they were married. And that he also again mentioned that he had done it with his character licensable bear. There was a gay marriage in that too. So anyways, it's been done before, most notably with Archie last year. And you think when it gets to the point where it's not newsworthy, then I think we're doing fine. And apparently the last thing I heard was that it was going to be the Earth 2 Green Lantern is going to be come out of the closet, which is apparently this Alan Scott bears no relation except in name to the Golden Age and Silver Age character that we knew who was married. But anyway, I went on way too long, and I apologize, but I just wanted to make a few comments, and probably they're not clear. So anyway, peace out. Take care of yourself, and I hope my cold gets better.